So this is going to be one of the most scuffed vids on CG you've ever seen. However, when I was learning for the very first time a few years back, and when I was trying to get refreshers on it for my current Iron Man, I found that the guides online weren't the greatest. So I thought it'd be worth me making my own guide for my other group members, as well as my clan, as well as anyone else who cares to watch this. I will reiterate this will be scuffed because I know nothing about video editing and I just don't care enough to do a video editing. As I said before, this is just intended for people in my clan and for my group members. So for CG, I've written in my notes that there are probably 6 main topics worth going over. Topic 1 is plugins. So for you doing this on mobile, God save you. So I put in Gauntlet. There are 3 that I have. There's Gauntlet Minimap, which you can copy below. What this will do is when you're doing CG, if there are any resources that you can see on the minimap, it will display there. But if you've gotten the amount set here, it will then be removed. So if you see a tree on the minimap, not only does it show you where it is, but it will remind you you still need to get some bark. The second one is Gauntlet Map. This is very simple. This puts a little thing here. I don't use it very often, but there's sometimes where I'm autopiloting and I make a mistake, and this helps me out a little bit. The last one is just called the Gauntlet, and it's the most in-depth one, which is why I left it till last. The resource tracking puts a marker in the bottom left here, showing you the resources you still need. The tracking mode I put as decrement or decrement, I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, is not increment. This means that if you have, say, if it's a tier 1 prep, which is what this video will be covering, you need 3 bark in total. It will start by saying there's 3 here. As you get bark, we're going on 3 to 2 to 1, and it will be removed. So you can see clearly the things still needed. That's what this is doing. So this is the 3 main resources. The leaves for the for the potion, the frames for the weapons, the fish, food, and the shards to make things, as well as the secondaries needed for the tier 3 weapons. I'll be going over later. For resource overlay, you can do this however you want, but I personally prefer. I don't think I've changed much. I think I might have made the icon sizes a bit bigger, but that's about it. Utilities, it just makes life a bit easier when you're trying to click through walls. I made it pink because it really stands out. NPCs, I love this. Alarm width, I've made them nice and wide. You'll see when we're doing the actual run, this is one of the best parts about it. It is chef kiss amazing. You can see through walls, even through areas which aren't rendered yet, where the bosses are. It makes life a lot easier. Hunlif, I don't have much to do here. I have it outlined, but then you can highlight that in any other way. And the timer, I have nothing because there's a timer at the top left. So that is the plugins done. The next thing is how the map works. I'm going to jump us over to Microsoft Paint over here. So when you start, you will be beginning in one of the 4 sides of where the Gunlift is. So Gunlift is always in the middle. You will spawn either north, east, south, west, or south of the boss. You can see in this instance, I was on the south. There are 3 different types of demi bosses, and there are 2 of each, totaling 6 demi bosses in the entire map. They will always be in the middle 3 of the sides. So, but it is random because there's 6 that are available, and these are 12 squares. Half of them have demi bosses, half of them won't. One of the biggest things with the path thing that I do helps me find them very efficiently. And there are 3 demi bosses. There is the Dark Beast, which is ranged. There we go. There is the Dragon, which is mage, and there is the Bear, which is melee. That's an M, I promise. Not only does this mean the style you have to protect against, so if you see a Dark Beast, you have to pray range, But when you killed him, you get the bowstring. For the dragon, you get the orb, and from the bear, you get the spike. This is used to upgrade your weapon from tier 2 to tier 3. And for the boss, you want to have 2 weapons that are tier 3. Doesn't matter which 3, just has to be 2 of them. I know a lot of people, especially earlier on Iron Man, suggest that you get the spike done because you can use piety, and the chances are you don't have rigor or augury. I personally disagree. I think that you should go for mage and range because it is just so much nicer than a kite, either both the boss and the whirlwinds. Now the way this mechanic works is very simple. If you were to kill, say, a dragon, you are guaranteed to get yourself the orb drop. Same with the dark beast, you guarantee yourself the bowstring. This sounds obvious. However, you cannot get duplicates until you've had all 3 drops. So what this means is if I go down here and I saw, usually better colour for this. If I went down here, that's still an awful colour. Now, over here, and this was a dragon, this was a dark beast. Sorry, this was a dragon, this was a bear, and this was a bear. But what would happen is if I kill the dragon, I'll get the orb. I then kill the bear and get the spike. I then kill the other bear, and because you can't get duplicates till you've had all 3, I've already had the orb, I've already had the spike. This will drop me the bowstring, even though I have not had even though it's a bear, it will drop a bowstring because you obviously can't have duplicates. Now, whether it gets a little bit dicey is, let's say I went down here and I saw a dragon and a second dragon, and this one was empty. The first dragon obviously drops me the orb. The second dragon cannot drop me the orb because I've already got the orb. So it will drop me either the spike or the bowstring. And it is a 50-50 on what you get. So you can make some plays where you do this, but it's not guaranteed. This is why a lot of the time, if I go down here and I see like a dragon and a bear, I will still kill the bear, because it means if I go somewhere else, I need to find a demi. It does not matter what it is. Because it's a third one, I'll get what I need. So next up for pathing, if I just delete all this real quickly, and I can't, that's fine. For pathing, the way I do it is I will go to the side of where where I spawned, adjacent to the boss. So I'm here, I'll go down here. You basically want to go to the corner of the boss where the boss is. Doesn't matter what corner. So if I was to go here, I then go alongside the boss twice, then go across. I then search the room. I would not go in. Go down, search the room, don't go in. Search the room, don't go in. Come across, search the room, into here, search the room, and then go back. This is the general path because it means you're getting 6 rooms checked. And you will have enough rooms to where you should get all the supplies you need for the very first run. You are hoping to find a dragon and a dark beast here. There many times you don't. But the nice thing to remember is that because there can only be a maximum of 6 empty rooms, you know that the worst case scenario is that you have no demi-bosses in any of these. I had happened once that I calculated the odds of this being like 1 in like 4,000 or something. But if this happens, it's not a big deal. You can come back, do all the supplies you need, and you can go directly here, knowing for certain this one, and this one will all have something. It is physically impossible if you check all of these 3, all of these 3, and all of these 3, you won't find at least 3 demo boxes. It is guaranteed. So for the first run, what you want to be doing is you want to get yourself 1 tree, 1 ore. You want to be killing the little dudes to get 1 weapon frame. And if you walk into a room that has 3 little dudes, which will be like the rat, the spider, and the bat, one of them is guaranteed to drop it. You you want to get yourself 1 lot of cloth. When I say 1, I mean like 1 whole spawn of it, which equals to like, that's 3 bark, etc. There we go. You want to get yourself 12 fish. And you want to get yourself 2 herbs. Alongside, you want to get yourself 200 shards. This is where some of the RNG comes in. Because it's very rare you do this whole loop and you don't get all of this. It's very rare. The 200 shards is a bit of RNG. There are backup things you can do if you don't miss out. Like you can kill the bigger monsters, which are the wolf or the unicorn. If there's fish, you can drop some fish at spawn and go fish some more fish. There's options you can do. I'd say approximately 75% of my runs, I get everything here. And like 5% of the time, I'm missing something, in which case I'll show you what I do. And there's 20% chance-ish where I am missing the shards, which again isn't the end of the world. If I was to do the whole run of where I go here, 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 down here, and back, and I'm at this room here, and I'm missing something, I usually just do this little loop here, and I'm usually fine because it's usually very, very, very close to whatever I need. If I'm quite far for some awful reason, I'll do this sort of loop. But again, this is such a rare case that you need to do this. That it doesn't really matter that much. So once you have all this stuff, you can make yourself I can delete all this stuff now because you guys can pause the video, which is fantastic. Once you've got all that stuff, you can make yourself a tier 2 weapon. The most efficient one to make is the staff, because the staff is OP as fuck here. Make yourself tier 1 armor. You want to drop your food. And if you have the shards for it, which is 240 shards, you want to make yourself 2 vials. Fill them up with water and make the potion. Then once this is done, you should have already checked these 3. You should have checked these 3. And you can make judgments based upon what you've seen or what you know to go and find the demi-bosses. Your goal for the second run is to get yourself the tier 3 weapon stuff done and get yourself as much extra food as you want. If you get at least 8 more food, you are fine. If you get yourself an extra like 12 to 16-ish, that's perfect. The better you get, the more you can rely on the 8, sometimes 4. And if you're really cracked and you have great stats, Brigger, Augury, blah, you don't need to get any. As for the boss itself, the best way to show that is to do a run myself. So if we swap the back screen back to OSRS, the tragic thing is that if I fail this run, I'm going to redo this entire video, and it's already 13 minutes long. So if you're seeing this, I probably got the kill, which means yay. So I come in here, I see there's 3 rats. I'm going to kill 3. You can see I've gone adjacent to the boss. If you want to put on like protection melee and priority, feel free. If you don't, it's not a big deal. If you get bonus stuff like more shards or the leaves here, again, pick them up, why not? There's a guaranteed shard, the guaranteed frame, sorry. I'm going to go the root. You can see now that my 2 that I got to pick loot here is gone. There's some ore, mine that. You can see this number's going down. I can drop the pickaxe. I can ignore these 2 now. You see that there's the herb there, but it's not showing up, lighting up, which means I don't need it. Ignore these 2 as well. There's the cloth. You see how this is lit up. This isn't. It means I need it. It's a small thing, but you should be thoughtful where you're standing when lighting these up. If I was to light it up here, I'm safe. But it's up from here, I'm not. If this was a dragon or a dark beast, it'd hit me immediately. And in CG, these things hit hard. There's the fish. One spider's no issue. I'm definitely gotten to the stage where I'm a bit lazier with my overheads. Like I will put them on here and there for these monsters, but as a general rule, I just don't care for them. As the second room checked, there's no demi-boss there. You can see that we're doing quite poorly for shard, which is fine. The only thing we're missing now is the tree. This is the third one we're going to check. I've got nothing. There's trees in there. If I was desperate, I'd go in, but I know that the chance of me not finding a tree during this entire loop is so low, I'm not going to go out of my way and get it. So I'm at the infirmary there, drop a fish, get the last tree, step away, drop the axe, and get my fish back. And I got exactly 200 shards, which is lucky. So I search, there's nothing. And the fact that I'm finding nothing isn't a bad thing. I'd rather have a whole area of nothing. It means the chance of them being clumped together is higher. And nothing there. Okay. So all we've found so far is a dark beast, and that is fine. And another fishing spot. That's good. When I go over to where the cooking range is, just drop all my food. Over here. The keybinds is 3, 4, and 5 to make the armor, and then I do the staff twice. I equip this, and you see how much more space my inventory has. So that's the part number 1 done. So now, based on what I've seen and what I know I don't need to go to the north side. The west side has a dark beast, which is worth me killing. And there is the I'll find the very minimum at least 2 more demi-bosses to the left side. But if that was say a dragon and a bear, I would have to still come back and kill this dark beast. Killing it now means that when I go there, I'm guaranteed to get everything I need. Now, if I only had one teleport seed, I would not be using it now. But it's a bit fast to just use it now. I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to the south side, and I'll be checking. This will be the last thing I need. If I find some more food, fantastic. If not, it's not the end of the world. I have a lot of time left over, so I can go searching. And the nice way of how I do it is I use the teleport seed at the very end, which means if I kill these guys and want to go search more food, I can do so because I can always teleport away. There's the bear. I'm actually going to ignore it for now and go check. Alright. So this is actually some of the worst RNG you can get, but even with it, it's fine. This is guaranteed now to have a demi-boss. So it's another dark beast. So had I not have gone to kill the dark beast from before, I'd have had to have gone back and killed it. And mathematically, you shouldn't have had to have done that. But, you know, RNG can be a bitch. And this wolf is being a bitch as well. Well, that's fine. I'll go find a bit more food and that'll cover all the loss I had to miss. So this is a 50-50 chance of dropping me the orb or the spike. I got the orb there, which is nice. If I'd gotten the spike, I'd have gotten to kill the bear and he would have dropped me the orb, but that would have been fine. Because my health is a little bit on the lower side, I'm opting to get a bit more food. Plus, it still needs some more shards there, which again is very, very rare to have to do. All the runs I've ever done, I've only had 2 runs, or maybe 3 runs, where I've had everything I need to start the boss, and I have been missing shards. So because I've got this teleport seed still, I don't care where I'm going, I'm just showing wherever I can search, just to get some more food. So this is, I'm actually quite happy this has been quite a bad RNG run. Just because it shows you that you can still do this method even with bad RNG. Right, so when you're over here, we're going to make our weapon perfected, make the basic attuned and perfected bow, make 2 vials, crush up 20 shards into the dust. Fill these up. Add the herb. Add the dust. And then drop everything that's not the bow. And then we start to fill our inventory up. Now this is absolutely overkill for supplying, but if you're learning, this is the type of supply you want to be doing because you're going to have as much food and supplies for all the mistakes that you might make. So really, really, really bad RNG, and yet we still have 30 seconds left to go. I will pre-pot because it's like a stamina potion. I'm going to start the fight. So the actual boss itself, it will always start using range. Its overhead is random. Every 4 hits it does, it changes its overhead, I believe. I'm at this stage where I don't even remember anymore. And every 5 hits you do, 1 plus whatever it's doing, it changes overhead. That one difference does mean that there's definitely an offset when it changes its overheads and when you need to change your attack style. If you have true tile mark on, it is very, very useful to have. It's very important to watch out for that pink warp, where it will be turning your prayers off. For the way I generally do this, and you may not feel comfortable to do it, is I let my health get fairly low and like do like tickets and things at the early stages. Once bosses below say half health, that's when I'll start to eat up more. Additionally, when I'm running around, if I'm like dodging the tornadoes, the idea is you don't want to be doing nothing, because then you are wasting a bunch of time, and that could be ruining like your prayer or whatever. So I'm either eating or I'm attacking. There we go. Now, one of the big killers for people who are new to this boss, excluding Panic, is he will do the pink orb where he takes your prayers off, and then he will change his overheads. So not change his overhead, change his attack style. So he'll be attacking you with mage. His last it will be the prayer off. You are so focused on putting your prayers back on, you don't notice he's changed from mage to range. And it's a thing he does fairly commonly actually. So I'm surprised I haven't had that happen to me yet. So we're into the final phase where these tiles will be used. Now I will admit I'm a little bit rusty of this because I have been doing other things. So I'm not sure my final phase will go too cleanly, but I'll show you my thought process for getting the kill done. My mentality is if you are getting the kill down, even if it's not clean, it's fine, especially if you are trying to learn. So this is the final phase. When you do this a few times, you'll notice it from the patterns on the floor. The tornadoes happen a bit more frequently at this stage. The patterns are a bit less forgiving and they change a lot faster. And these tiles, marked tiles here, are safe tiles. So I'm going to run through these tornadoes because they won't stack together. I'm going to come over here, step up once so that they are not on the same lane as me and carry on running. And this is where I'll keep my health high in case of mistakes. But also, as a general rule, if you had to choose between going on the tiles for a little bit, there you see, he turned my prayers off and swapped it over his attack style to range. If I had to choose between running on these tiles for a bit, or I had to take the tornadoes, it's situational. If the tornado is an individual or at the most a double one, and you have a good bit of health, do the tornadoes. If they start this, which happens very quickly, take the floor damage. Unless you're in like tier 3 gear, there's a very, very high chance that that tornado stack will just want to heal you. So I'm mentally preparing that he's going to do another wave of tornadoes. And if I survive that, then I'm done. I'm going to stand one further down. I have this pathway to run. And as soon as he spawns tornadoes, I'm going to take that. And as soon as he spawns tornadoes, all I'm going to do is just run and eat. Just run and spam my food. As long as you know your character's running somewhere safe, you have your overheads on, you can just keep eating. And now I'm full health. I can start attacking him as long as I feel comfortable to do so. If I didn't, I'd just eat him just in case. And the boss is dead. Right. And that was just a generally bad run. And then you do the chest, you get your enhanced weapon seed, or you just get sadness. That's fine. If I was trying to learn CG for the very first time again from not trying to relearn or refresh myself, but just learn for the first time, it comes down to how comfortable you are with mechanics. If you watched that and thought, yep, that's easy, I can do that. It'll just take me a few tries and I can nail that. Go right ahead, do it. I have full faith in you. There's a lot of people who would actually argue that is the way to learn. You should ignore regular gauntlet, just go straight to CG. Even if you fail 50 times, do CG, do CG, do CG. Now, I think in terms of most efficient, yes, that might be. If we were machines, but because we're humans, we are susceptible to tilt. We're susceptible to raging, to giving up, to all these things. So I personally disagree with the old advice of just do CG, do CG, do CG. My advice is you do this in 4 stages before CG. Step 1, do regular gauntlet. And do it until you get both the 1, 2, 3 mage achievement and you get the perfect gauntlet achievement. The 1, 2, 3 mage just means you took no hits off prayer, which is fairly easy to get. And you should absolutely be nailing that. The perfect one meant you took no damage off overheads. You didn't get hit by the floor. You didn't get hit by the stomp. I forgot all about that. Don't run under Hunlif unless you know about her attack cycle. Otherwise, she can stomp like the Corporal Beast does, and that thing is a no bueno. So don't get hit by stomp, tiles, tornadoes, prayers off hit. If you manage all of those, you're then progressing really, really nicely. The next thing I would do is I would learn to do it with tier 2 weapons. This is so that it slows the fight down, and it means you're spending more time on the final phase where you've got to spend more time under pressure, and this will teach you to keep your nerves under calm. Next, go back to tier 3 weapons, but do no armor. This will have the boss's damage be very similar to CG, but it's not going to take you as long to kill it because you are obviously using tier 3 weapons and it has less health. Then finally, do tier 2 weapons, do no armor in regular gauntlet. You don't need to do perfected, you don't do anything like that. This is very similar to doing a CG run, but it is slightly less punishing. The floor won't hurt you as hard, the tornadoes won't hurt you as hard. The chip damage is very similar. And the fight duration will be very similar. It is the closest thing to CG without being CG. Once you have that down, go to CG and do that as best you can. If you want to skip steps, you want to go straight for CG, you do it. But if you are someone who thinks, I can't do this, it's too hard for me, I want to give up, I've failed 50 times, I can't get my first kill count, those are the steps I would take. You do CG, so you do regular gauntlet as best you can, then you do it with tier 2 weapons, then you do it with tier 3 weapons, no armor, then you do it with tier 2 weapons, tier 2 armor, then you go to CG. I promise you, you follow the steps, you manage all of that, CG will go from feeling really difficult to feeling very manageable. Once you yourself 20, 30 CG Casey, it will be easy. This video has been far too drawn out, but CG is a grind for Ironman that can take you from a few hours to taking you months. So I think that a 30-minute video to help you out with content that you could be spending months on isn't the worst thing in the world, and I'd rather make sure that I feel like everything is covered, even if it is in a scuffed version. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, you know I'm very happy to answer them. But good luck and get the enhanced.